Alright, guys. Alright, team. We are here today. Good morning, good morning. Hope you guys are doing well today. We're starting the stream up a little bit earlier than normal today. We have jobless claims, unemployment filings dropping. Alright. SPY's still pumping up. That's nice. Oh, I think y'all like the 3 charts more, right? Alright, so here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin at 43K. There's the SPY. SPY at 477s. We got the Q today. Breaking highs again this morning, man. Look at these high breaks. It's at 412, almost 413s. Tesla here. 264s. Man. You love to see it. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's all-time highs until New Year's. What's up, guys? Stacy, Code, K, Manny, Pawn, Moose, Alyssa, Beach. What's up, dude? Joseph, Mars. All right. We're going to do a poll here. All right, yeah, we're going to get our poll going. Does the market have, or does jobless claims come in higher or lower? We're just going to keep it like that. I think my mic volume might be a little off here. Let me update this. Honestly, bro, I'm hearing myself type in the background, dude. I really do type fast, bro. Like, it sounds like I'm just... honestly, I've never heard myself type. There we go. All right, so that should be better. I should sound better on the mic. Yeah, again, people have accused me of fake typing before, like, and then I had to bust out the typing test. I can actually type pretty quickly. It's a little bit early to hit you guys with one, but I guess I will. Let's go ahead and start it. Dude, see, I get all caught up in these words I've never used before. See, like, I get caught up in words I've never used before. It slows me down a little bit. But if I had, like, a perfect run, I could probably get over 100 words per minute, I think. But yeah, these words are slowing me down. Oh, it's trying to make me watch an ad too, just to see my results. Hey, okay, 82 words per minute is what I got. 79. If you use the mistakes that I made, so nah. All right, yeah. So I'm just kind of messing around. Listen, if I ever wanted a new job, I'm just gonna come be it. I don't think I could do anything except for like lady jobs as a typer, but still. All right, we're gonna get some music going here. Bro, stop playing with the market. The other countries are taking and stealing oil from us. Why are you so upset, bro? Why are you so upset, man? You know? Calm down, dude. It's too early in the morning to act like that, brother. I'll take all my profits at the open. Hey, good luck, dude. ETH? Yeah, I can take a look at ETH. Hey, John, what can you tell me about gold? Gold has been moving up a lot. You know, gold has had like a big run. You know, it's up to almost 2,100. The highs of the lifetime highs are at 2,150. We're at 2,089 right now. We're actually dipping down a little bit today, but we had a pretty big run on gold yesterday, I believe. And so, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Slap that like button, guys. Help me break 100 likes real quick. I mean, I don't really wonder that. Oil and the petrodollar have always been like an important thing for our country. It's something that has drastically influenced our foreign policy, OG. And so, I mean, I think that's very self-evident if you look at history over the last century. You know, oil has drastically influenced our foreign policy. The petrodollar, you know, keeping the price of it pegged to the US dollar, like that, you know what I mean? Like that's not a shock or a surprise, I think, you know. Bob is up pre-market. Hey, I'll take a look. All right, thanks, man. We got a lot of stuff that's actually gapping up this morning. The Q is up, so tech is up a little bit more than the SPY itself. Yeah, but you're acting like you're telling anybody here something that's a surprise, OG. Like, it's all, everybody knows this. It's not a both. I'm very neutral politically, you know what I mean? But everybody knows that already. Of course it has. It's very self-evident. I'm buying Polestar today. Hey, good luck, Val. I hope you make some money, brother. Yeah, Ballas looking at float, and it's only 650 shares. That's a tiny, tiny float. Good luck, guys. Is jobless claims number a good enough reason to keep the market running up? If it comes in favorably, which we don't really know what favorably is. I think favorably could mean anything with jobless claims. I think the market could want more people filing for unemployment because it means less people ultimately spending and better inflation problems. More reducing inflation issues is how I should probably say it. But yeah, that drops at 8:30. We're gonna put a timer up on screen like we always do here. So we got like an hour and a half until this data drops. We'll see what we get. Tesla pull it back a little bit today. All right, well, you're just trying to argue, it seems, OG. You know, is jobless something that might move the market? It might move it a little bit. You know, it's the biggest report we got this week, even though it's not really like conventionally. It's not really like a huge report, all you know, all things considered. But it's somewhat relevant. We'll see what happens, you know. All right, guys. So gold dipping down a little bit is at 2080s right now. The Q's still very bullish, but sideways over the last 15 minutes or so. We're gonna put the ball. I hope you guys saw me on Top Step TV yesterday. You know, it was a good show. I think I always have fun talking with them about it. You know. Place. Depending on if the market is in a recession or inflation fearing, depends on which way it goes. 100%. Yeah, we'll see. I'm feeling much better today, bro. My sore throat is basically gone. My sinuses are clear this morning. You know what I mean? I'm feeling good. See, I did end up buying that watch that I was talking about getting yesterday. So I did end up getting it yesterday. I think I'm going to turn around and sell it pretty quickly, though. Do you think Tesla will move big on delivery numbers next week? What day is the delivery numbers for Tesla? I know we have the FOMC Fed minutes report on Thursday. I believe it's January 3rd of next week. I don't know the day. Let me see. Tesla delivery numbers. It's quarterly on the second day of the month, so it's going to be next week on Tuesday for Tesla delivery numbers, which is good because it'll give me something to cover. Tuesday's actually our first market day next week, and so obviously Monday we ain't got much going on because the market's closed for New Year's, and then Tuesday we got Tesla delivery numbers, we got manufacturing PMI as well. Wednesday next week we got ISM and JOLTS, and then the FOMC minutes report. So they finally updated it, guys. So the FOMC Fed minutes report is on Wednesday, the 3rd of January next week. It is on Wednesday. They finally updated and everything that I'm seeing here. They updated on the Fed. They updated on Market Watch. They updated everywhere. So the Fed minutes report will be Wednesday at 2 p.m. We will stream it live like we always do. JOLTS report is that day as well. We got Tesla delivery numbers the previous day. Thursday we got services and jobless claims and the non-farm employment change data, and then Friday we got unemployment and non-farm payroll data. So next week, actually, every day next week is busy. Every day next week we got something going on. My favorite types of weeks, especially in a slow period like it's been kind of slow. It's not a shock though, like I said, I always tell people this, every quarter we have a couple weeks slow period, and we've been in that slow period now, and I don't mind because it's been short weeks and holiday weeks. Look at Tesla pull back heavily right now. But again, if you think about everything my channel covers, my channel is mostly economic reports, stock market news, earnings, stuff like that. Earnings are released quarterly, and earnings season happens, I would say 1 out of every 3 months you get earnings season. Like busy earnings season, that is, but it branches out. But yeah, so we got that. The FOMC meeting happens every 6 weeks. The FOMC Fed minutes report, so in that regard, happens every 3 weeks. FOMC of some sort happens every 3 weeks, but every quarter we have a couple week period where we don't have an FOMC meeting, we don't have earnings, and we don't really have too much going on, and this week was it. This week we basically had nothing going on, except for jobless claims today. Today's the biggest number. Again, that all changes next week. Next week we got a whole bunch of stuff to make up for it. So yeah, it'll be a busy time. No, I didn't get to see a pawn. My bad, bro. It's been busy, bro. Here, I have some updates to tell you too, Pawn. Hold on. About some stuff. All right, team. I did have a pretty good day trading futures. Yeah, part of me wants to buy this little dip. I see, especially in like the NASDAQ here, is what I'm looking to buy. I did have a green day on my funded account in futures. Let's see, 1, 2. Any thoughts on the Bitcoin spot ETF by January 10th? Do you think it's going to get approved? I have no idea whether it's going to get approved. I hope it does. I hope it does. So I am in my funded account right now on Top Step here. We got $20 profit. This is my actual funded account. We're up $15 currently on the position. We just recently broke out of a trend, and so I want to give it a shot to continue pushing here. We're slightly green, but I do want to give it a chance to bounce some more, and if not, we can get out, you know, hopefully for a win. But if not, small nonetheless. We are getting very choppy action, if you can see this here. Dude, why in the world? Okay, there it is. We are getting very choppy action. You can kind of see up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Haven't really done much. We're just kind of waiting for this trend to break. But we are in our actual funded account. I want to see if we can pop up here. Like, okay, so we had a trend that was forming here. You know what I mean? And we recently broke out of that trend. And now it looks like we want to head up. And so once we broke out of that trend, a lot of the time I'll buy this dip. I missed this dip. And so I'm kind of looking for a continuation up here. If I can get 30, 40 bucks in gains in cushion, I'm happy with this trade. And we've got a nice little, even though the volume's light, it's early in the morning for the NASDAQ. I still like the trend and pattern here. We're up about 15 to 20 bucks. But if we dip too much under this, of course, we're going to cut it. But hopefully we can break this high, continue moving up, and get a nice little gain here. There we go, $20. It wants to break. If not, though, like, again, this is kind of a longer-term trend trade. We're looking to ride the trend up. We talked about this on Top Step TV yesterday, but usually, a lot of the time I have two goals in the morning. One of them is to, like, obviously build up a couple $100 in profit in every account that I have. That will give me a more flexible day for the rest of the day. So I want to build up that $100 to $200 cushion every day, and that's kind of what I'm working on here on my funded account. I think if I can make, like I said, 30, 40 bucks, I'm happy. Or if I can lose that much or less, I'm happy too, to be honest. There we go, nice little retracement. We're up about $20 here. We just need a little bit more momentum, you know. There we go, broke highs real quick. We're up 30. We'll probably try to cut it before we hit this level here if we can. 35, 40. We'll go ahead and cut that. All right, so we just made our $40 exactly like we wanted to on our funded account. We'll see if we can get it again, you know. All right, so we're out of that. We'll see what happens. Again, my intuition about a potential bounce was accurate. All right, we still got to rip up. I probably could have rode that trend up a little bit more, in all honesty, but like, hey, I think that's how it goes, I guess. Yeah, hopefully you guys like my video that I posted yesterday. I posted a video titled 48-Hour Funding on Top Step, How to Pass Top Steps Program in 2 days. So again, if you want to check that video out, of course, it definitely helps support us. And again, in that video, I break down my risk management system and daily trading plan in complete detail. Check it out. There's the link. Yeah, we posted there if you want to check it out. Alright, so jobless claims drop at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and are expected at jobless claims today expected at, bro, my freaking daughter loves Timothy Chalamet, and so I'm now getting ads like this. Freaking teenagers, bro. I'm getting ads like this popping up on my screen, you know. Yeah, so again, today is jobless claims numbers. Jobless claims are expected at oh, we got non-farm employment, or no, that's next week. I'm dumb, sorry guys. We don't have non-farm employment. Today we have pending home sales. Jobless claims expected at 210,000, 210K. Remember, higher claims means less unemployment filings, which could show less inflation fears. Or higher claims means more, since less spending. Dude, what is wrong with my keyboard today? It's like double typing. Alright, so we're gonna put this up on screen so you guys can understand it. All right, market's still ripping up a little bit here. All right, so we've made some profit in our funded account today. Made some profit in our funded account. I'm excited my watch comes in sometime next week. Is it bad that I don't trust the retailer though? It's not a AD, it's a UD. And so is it bad that I don't trust them? Like I had to buy myself like a jeweler's loop, like magnifying glass, because over the last couple weeks I've been like researching how to spot fake ones. You know what I mean? And so with that, before I even like get it, I'm looking at what it, you know. No, it's not super. I mean, somebody said that yesterday, McFortune. I don't trust anybody. I really don't. I don't trust anybody. Even people know. I'm going to tell you how much I don't trust people. Even people that are nice to me on my YouTube stream, I assume that they're trying to be sketchy, because they've been banned here sometimes already, and I think that's probably true. I think some of you guys in the chat have been banned before, and so you either got some people that are just sitting around trying to critique and like whatever they justify that in their head with. I mean, do what you do, live your life, I guess, you know. But I don't know. If you ask Pawn, like Pawn's been managing the stream with me for, you know, I think over a year now. He sees it. He understands. Like, he understands I'm trying to be a good person here. Like, I'm trying to be a good person. Anybody that works for me, I usually treat them pretty well. With that said, I'm not hiring anybody. Please don't reach out. Yeah, 100%. I think everybody's a scam. No, man. I mean, most of you guys are cool, Mr. C. Most of you guys are cool, you know. I just listened to the stream, love the info I gained. Hey, thanks so much, game. I appreciate it, brother. I guess it comes with the territory. Yeah, I mean, it does. Oh, y'all are my friends, my online friends. I'm a troll, but I can't troll you because you're a good vibe. Hey, thank you, Mylon. I appreciate it, brother. I know, I always tell people, like, if you're getting weird with me, I can only imagine, there's either two sides of it. If you're getting weird with me, it's either because I'm telling people the truth, and the truth hurts sometimes, and they don't like hearing the truth, and so sometimes they get mad at the messenger. I think that's probably pretty common. I try to be honest with you guys and tell people, hey, look, most day traders lose money. Most penny stocks are scams. If you invest in penny stocks, you're going to lose money. The marketing around those can be incredibly persuasive and trick retail traders that have delusions of grandeur about getting rich off of them. There's just a lot of sketchiness, and I always try to be honest about it. And again, I think when you're honest about it, sometimes that creates enemies. People don't like the truth, and really self-conscious people about those things instead get mad at the messenger instead of looking at what I'm trying to say objectively. They just get mad at the messenger out of a, you know, I don't know. But again, most people understand, I think, that I'm just trying to be real with y'all. And I think maybe I'm wrong about certain things. Like, I could certainly be wrong. I'm not saying you can never make money day trading penny stocks. I think, like, Relentless Trader seems to make money day trading penny stocks. And so there's some good traders that are doing it. I'm just not one of them, and I think I can't do it. And so I just try to be honest about all of it. And so hopefully you guys appreciate it. That's why we're called Beginner Trading. I've had a lot of people that push me to change my name because they're like, hey, bro, you've been trading for 8 years. Like, you're a good trader. Why not change your name from Beginner Trader? And I always tell them the same thing, is because, like, our goal is to help new traders. And so it still kind of fits the theme of the channel in that regard. Like, it still kind of fits. Also truth, 99% of YouTubers have channels to make money. Oh, 100%. I don't know whether it's because they can't make money trading or not. I don't think that matters. I think most of the time, smart people have multiple income streams. And so I don't agree with the argument in which if you make, like, to a certain extent, like, I think most smart people diversify income streams, and I think that's the right move most of the time. I think that's the smart move. I think that's what smart people do, is create as many income streams as they can, especially if you're passionate about something. Like, if you're really passionate about trading, I mean, the go-to is to create a business around it, and I think that's understandable. But I disagree with the people telling everybody, oh, I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart. Like, you know, look at my charity donations, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like, all right. Like, anybody bragging about doing good things online usually is doing it for their own self-interest. Is the unemployment news today important? So jobless claims numbers are a weekly report. They're the most important stuff we have this week, but they're a weekly report. And so that kind of dilutes the importance of jobless claims, unemployment, but it's still relevant. It's probably the biggest fundamental influence over markets this week. Probably. So. That's why I like your channel. I like that you call out that kind of stuff. Went through all that myself. I think a lot of people do, and I think that's why my channel's gotten kind of big, is because people know what I'm saying is true. The only people that don't are, again, the new traders who, again, I kind of just call it the Dunning-Kruger effect of trading, in which they're so new, they don't understand why the way they're behaving and acting is wrong. And so they're just kind of oblivious to, you know, how it looks. And, you know, I'd rather just say, hey, even when I went on Top Step TV yesterday, the first thing I said is, hey, look, I'm not an expert. Like, I don't even claim to be a good trader. Y'all have got some really talented traders. I'm not going to say I'm not in that group, but I'm certainly not claiming to be. Yeah, Pawn's probably right. I don't want to call out any specific channels. Do you use 10x leverage? I never hear you speak about leverage. On TOS, they give me like Forex. And so I've got like 60 something thousand in there. So they give me like day trading leverage. They give me like 200 something thousand, 200 or whatever. I don't think they give me exactly 4 to 1, but I think it's around 4 to 1 day trading leverage. Let me see what they give me. Okay, yeah, they give me exactly 4 to 1. So. Hey, thank you, Joe, my guy. Thank you so much for that $10, brother. Hey, thanks so much, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much, dude. That's awesome, Joe. Shout out to Joe for the $10 donation. He said, thanks. I enjoy listening to you. Thanks so much, man. I think we talk about a good mix of stuff. Like, we talk about money. Obviously, I'm like a business person, and I love to talk about business and money and whatever that entails. It's something in which I kind of worry about my kids. This is a true worry of mine about my children, right? You know, I think one of the reasons I'm entrepreneurial is because, like, I had to work for everything I had growing up. Like, my dad, I mean, they weren't bad off at all. Like, my dad we were middle class, you know, but he was, for lack of a better word, cheap, which I can respect as I've gotten older. Like, he would buy me, you know, off-brand cereal and Walmart shoes, and he would make me work for different things. If I wanted anything, I'd have to cut the grass, or I'd have to clean the house, or I'd have to do whatever. And it was, you know, it's not like he would buy me a PlayStation if I cut the grass. He would give me $10 if I cut the grass, and I would have to save up for months to buy a PlayStation, get one used out of the newspaper. And I think, and again, it might sound like I'm being critical, but I'm not. I think it's actually I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think it's necessary. I think what I worry about with my kids is that we've blessed them so much to where they're not going to have any value of money. They're not going to have any value of money. Now, we don't spoil them that much, because like, I will take stuff away with the quickness with my kids. My son, prior to the last week, hadn't had video games in months, because again, he just wasn't acting appropriately to play them. You know what I mean? But money-wise, I worry, because I think, again, I think one of the things that sparked like business interest in me is having to work to pay for things growing up. And I think maybe I should probably start conditioning my kids in that way as well. Because if you just kind of blindly give the kids, and I'm looking at it because my kids had a great Christmas. And again, they're good kids. They're really good kids. So, you know, I don't know. Yeah. But again, I can respect my dad as an adult now. You know, my dad would always make the joke, You know, somebody years ago, one of my dad's co-workers was like, hey, you should listen to Dave Ramsey. And my dad always laughs and says, I freaking am Dave Ramsey, you know. and looking back, he kind of is, man. My dad manages money really well, doesn't like spending big purchases, doesn't buy flashy stuff, sits and stacks his money and saves, and so I can respect it. But hopefully I can be the same, I guess. It's okay to spoil the kids, but yeah, they need to respect the power of working hard and earning your own. Yeah, 100%. I think that's what we need to do. Catch-22. Yeah, I mean, again, they always say you want to give your kids the things that you didn't have growing up, but to a certain point, that's not necessarily a good thing, I think, always. I think if you do, it creates a lack of balance in your kids, you know. Justin Bonomo getting some heat online. I'm not getting into it at all. I avoid politics completely. Hey, what's up, Smokey? Yeah, good to see you, bro. Yeah, so but Paul, and I'm just gonna explain it on stream so I don't have to type it up. So when I bought the watch, right? Originally I was looking at, they had the Batman watch, if you know what I'm talking about, the Batman. I looked at it, it looked okay. I thought the Batman looked legit. They had a gold Rolly that when I looked at it, the magnification on the date was very small. It was very light magnification. Now it was a gold presidential, and so, you know, it is a little bit cheaper and it was older, I'm pretty sure. But the magnification to me seemed off. I know it's supposed to be exactly 2.5x, and so it's supposed to fill the entire square. Now, I don't know when they updated those things or whatnot, but the concern of mine there was when I looked at it, it didn't seem like it was, there was way too much white space around the number. Like, the number seemed very small relative to other ones that I've seen before, and so the magnification seemed off to me personally, which made me question the whole thing. You know what I mean? Which made me question the whole thing. So that's my only concern with it. But yeah, we'll see, dude. We'll see. Yeah, I went to an authorized retailer, and dude, it's just a mess, bro. It's just a mess. I go to an authorized retailer, and they had one available. They had one, right? And they were like, oh, it's a 36 millimeter. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I go look at it. And then I call the guy, and the guy calls me back and says, hey, and he leaves me a message. He says, hey, we got a 36 blue face, 36 millimeter. And so originally I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, my wrists aren't huge. Like, I don't have the biggest wrists, right? So I'm like, maybe a 36 millimeter is going to look okay on me. And I walk in the store and I look at it, and it's just way too small. It also had diamonds on it, which is not really my style. And it was like $40K, you know? And so I'm just sitting there like, nope, not going to spend $40K on a watch like that. It's just not, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then I asked the lady, I was like, hey, you know, how long, if I wanted to buy a Submariner from you, how long is that generally going to take? And she got very short and very weird with me. It says, I don't know, you have to ask Dean, you know? And I'm just kind of like, all right, lady. Which to me seems crazy. Like, okay, you got somebody in there trying to buy something like that. I'm not saying you need to kiss their butt, but you certainly shouldn't be rude to them. You know what I mean? But again, I've never done it before. If I buy one, I'm probably going to flip it and resell it. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm not buying it for personal use anyway. And so maybe they understand that and they're trying to, like, discourage. I don't know. But yeah. And again, if you want to know why I'm thinking about buying them, if we look at, here's watch chart. This is the average price of luxury watches. This is it over the last year. If you want to know why I'm considering it, because look at the prices. They are down over the last year. They're down almost 15% in price. I'm a bottom feeding dip buyer trader. I like buying things when they're weak. Again, Top Step asked me my favorite, like my favorite trading advice anybody ever gave me. And again, I told him, Warren Buffett's better to be fearful when others are greedy, greedy when others are fearful. My favorite saying, and I truly believe that. I use it in stocks a ton. I see a lot of people now talking about my strategy where you look for big blue chip stocks to pull back heavily and then buy that dip and ride it up. I see a lot of big YouTubers talking about that now. And I'm not saying it's like a proprietary strategy or anything, but I've been talking about that for freaking years about how I trade like that. And again, I'm probably going to try to do it in watches as well. I think watches will probably bounce back too. Again, what happened in watches, I've explained this the last couple days, is that quantitative easing and Fed, like money printing happened after 2020. You know, we got stimulus checks. Everybody took those checks, bought luxury goods with it. Now Bernard Arnault, the owner of LV and a bunch of other luxury brands, is the richest man in the world because the prices of these luxury goods increased so much over the last 4 years. But we've had a correction this year in 2023, and I'm trying to buy into that correction and maybe catch a pop. But again, purely speculative. Maybe we keep dipping down. And I think there's also some arguments for that as well, but we'll see. Well, it depends on what market beach bomb, right? A lot of the time, there can be inverse correlations, which is kind of what I'm looking at. Hey, what's up, Matthew? Honestly, your strat of building a cushion before you take big trades is so good. It just makes perfect sense, dude. It just makes perfect sense. Like, I think, again, what I talked about yesterday on Top Step TV is the same thing, in which, like, look, every day when I wake up, like freaking clockwork, every day when I wake up, like clockwork, I am immediately looking around to see and try to build up a cushion of $100 to $200 in every account that I have. It doesn't matter if it's on Thinkorswim. It doesn't matter if it's a funded account. It doesn't matter if it's a combine account. Every account that I have, I'm looking up to build a small cushion. That way, once I do that, I can just be a lot more flexible with my trading. I don't have to worry about taking risks after that as much. I still have to worry. You still have to reel yourself in a little bit, but like I don't have to worry as much about it. So that's my goal. Just a simple mindset trick. It's like that's the goal. I need to build up a cushion every day. Right, 100%. I bought a jeweler's loop that I'm going to look at for sure. Jobless is at 8:30. It might say it in the title as well as the timer on the top left of the screen, kind sir. As well as right below me right here, just a weatherman it. You know, right here, you know, in this area right here. You know, it might say, tell you the time, bro. Gold pulling back a little bit. Guess it's time to be fearful. Maybe in stocks. Maybe in stocks it might be time to be fearful. We'll see. Where's AMC at? I haven't even looked at AMC the last couple days. AMC up a little bit today, but still Superman. Here's the problem with AMC. AMC looks super sketchy right now, and I'll tell you why. AMC looks sketchy because it's starting to barcode after dropping down to a pre-split price of 62 cents. Looks rough.
Also, guys, remember, slap that like button, team. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. We appreciate it. We got 60 likes. We can bump that number up to over 100 real quick if we can. Good news is bad news or bad news is good news. I'm not really sure. I think jobless claims could be up in the air. I think conventionally lower jobless claims is good. It means more economic growth, more people working, more people potentially spending and growing the economy and GDP. But on the other side of that coin, you have inflation fears and the impact of more people spending through more people working, and the impact that has on inflation, of course, because more people spend, businesses raise prices to compensate for it, thus raising and making inflation worse. And so it really is a nuance in which a lot of the time lately, at least as inflation fears are high, that higher jobless claims numbers is seen as a positive thing because it ultimately means less people working, less people spending, and in turn less inflation. But again, it's never 100%. This is something that's certainly arguable day to day. And yeah, I'm not sure. Expectations are 210, which I believe is pretty low relative to the last couple weeks. And so we'll see what happens there. I think it's possible we come in higher than expected today, considering how low the expectations are. But again, we'll see. Today's stock maker will crash. Well, I mean, again, everybody tells me that every day, so. Likely one more debt for equity swap coming. Yeah, I mean, maybe David. David says whatever the numbers bad or good, it will be good news for market. High jobless claims equals more rate cuts. Lower jobless claims equals good for the economy. Yeah, I mean, it depends on. Yeah, I mean, I think that's possible. I think it can be interpreted as positive. Beetlejuice 2, does it have what's his face in it? Does it have does it have Michael Keaton in it? It's got Winona Ryder. It's got Tim Burton. It's a Tim Burton movie. It's got Michael Keaton in it too. That's dope if it does. %60 chance of a rate cut next time and 89% in March. Is it really that high? Let's see. All right, so here's the FOMC Fed minutes, or not. Here's the CME Fed watch tool. All right, so again, next meeting, about a 16.5% chance of a cut. The next couple meetings are going to be really, really interesting. So again, the next couple meetings are going to be super interesting, I think. So yeah, so the one in March, we still got a 74% chance of a rate cut in March, almost 12% chance of a pause, and then a 14% chance of a 50 basis point cut, which is kind of crazy. A 50 basis point cut is a big decision there. And again, so these next couple meetings are going to be really influential in my opinion. They're going to be really important to watch, I think. What do you guys think is going to happen here, team? Again, we got 70 likes, team. Again, you can do better than that. Don't make me put it in sub-only mode, you know? All right, so we're taking another, in our funded account, we are taking another dip buy. We are currently up about $5, down about $5. We're flat, basically, on the trade. Kind of neutral here. Again, we already got a cushion of $40 on the day on the funded account. Are you expecting a positive reaction to the first rate cut? I really don't know. I think it could really react either way, in all honesty. I think anything could happen there. I think it can do both. I think it could have a good reaction, a negative reaction to a rate cut. It depends on whether the public thinks it's too early. If it's too early, inflation fears might loom, and so that's kind of the nuance of it. And again, I'm not sure. I really don't know. Yeah, I think the problem with financial literacy is this. Okay, the problem with financial literacy is this. People underestimate the power of the stock market, and so they don't invest. They underestimate the power of bonds, and so they don't buy bonds. They underestimate the power of just buying index funds, and so they don't invest. And so instead they sit on cash because of skepticism about the economy and the market, and they sit on cash for decades, and they miss out on 10xing their money, 5xing their money, and so they sit on cash and they sit on cash, and then over time, the cash that they've saved for retirement or the cash that they've just saved generally ends up getting diluted because of inflation over time. They end up losing it basically to inflation over time because of skepticism in the markets and in the economy and all that different stuff. And again, when that compounds over the years, they end up losing so much money and missed opportunity, and end up just kind of letting the value of their savings go down and down and down. Some people invest, and that's great. Other problems is that they chase, penny stocks. They chase mid caps that are just not super favorable companies. There's just a lot of things that people don't understand about markets. And again, I'm going to reinforce it now, considering I think that's one of the biggest things that people are financially illiterate in is the power of compounding in broad markets and long term, in blue chips and index funds long term. Again, people underestimate the edge long term. Short term, everything can be risky, right? But when you hold something for 10 plus years, you are almost guaranteed to make money. You are almost guaranteed to make money. And so if you're holding anything for a decade, again, you should be investing that money. If you're planning on sitting on cash and not spending it for a decade, again, in my opinion, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Not a financial advisor, not a market professional. I'm not liable if you lose, whatever. We could always have craziness in markets. But over a long period of time, over 10 plus years, you are almost certain to make money. You're almost certain to make money. In fact, you're almost certain to at least 3 to 4x your money over a 10 to 20 year period. And again, I think that's the biggest mistake people make. I think the other biggest mistake people make finance-wise, and again, I think this is a good topic, what are the biggest mistakes people make investing and in finance and with money in general. The second big mistake is that they spend too much money trying to look rich instead of trying to be rich. Somebody said it the other day, most truly wealthy people are not flashy. Again, same thing with what I know. People I know, and again, I'm not claiming to be super wealthy or anything like that. But most truly wealthy people that I know do not wear flashy things. They just don't. They certainly don't go out regularly wearing flashy things. They don't wear diamonds. They don't wear, they don't wear rollies. They don't wear, super expensive things like that for a few different reasons. The main one being it makes them targets. You know what I mean? If you have true wealth, you don't want to bring attention to yourself like that. You want to stay kind of anonymous, kind of quiet. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people, they start making good money, and instead of saving it or investing it or doing whatever, buying bonds or whatever they want to do with it, they end up buying a luxury supercar or fancy stuff, and they end up just kind of spending all their money. And again, understand, for most people, luxury cars are one of the biggest depreciating assets you'll ever buy. Most of the time. There's outliers where if you buy a rare car, it might appreciate over the years, but again, if you buy a new supercar, you're going to lose tons of value just driving it off the lot. And so I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make. I think living above their means financially is another mistake a lot of people make as well. A lot of people care too much about looking rich. And again, there's a very famous quote that says, don't try to look rich, be rich. And so stop spending your money trying to look rich and instead spend your money on, all right, we're going to go ahead and cut this. Get out. So we're slowly building up that profit on the day. Let's see what we're up. I think we're up $70 or something, $80. Up almost $100 in our funded account today, and this is our funded account. Yeah. Rate cuts are a nuanced thing. You know what I mean? Rate cuts are a nuanced thing. It can trigger fear. It can trigger inflation woes. I think we're probably going to pause next one. I don't think we're going to raise rates at the end of next month. I just don't. I don't think we're going to raise rates. I think we're going to pause. I would question if RVs also fit into that category. Recreational vehicles like motorhomes and trailers. I don't know. It depends. I think you could probably live very cheaply off of those things. And so if you're just kind of renting out small spots and saving money on housing and on mortgages, you know, that's okay. I think another aspect of financial illiteracy is, I think another aspect of it is interest rates and how much increases in interest rates affect how much you pay long term and the debt that you're locking yourself into. You know, a lot of people don't understand it, but interest rates over time are wildly important. You know, again, 3 years ago, if you wanted to mortgage a home, you get it for like 3% interest over time. You know, so 3% interest over time. Now you're paying 7-8%, so you're paying almost over double in a lot of ways. So again, all right, team. All right, so we are getting a little bounce up. I'm thinking about buying that dip, and I kind of was. But yeah, so just to put it into perspective, right? If you get loaned, if you mortgage a home at 8% right now, let's just call it 8%. For every 100,000, you're gonna pay $8K, right? So say you get a $500,000 loan in mortgages, you're gonna be paying 8% off of this money, and so on a yearly basis, you're gonna be paying $8K. And now it should go down as you pay off the mortgage, but like when you compare that to paying $8K a year for a $500,000 home, plus, you know, so that's interest plus your actual like loan that you have to pay back. You know, and again, if you take that versus something like 3.5%, your interest payments obviously are going to be much less. It's just important to understand the differences. How would a person do if they held T for 15 years? You mean treasury bills, treasury bonds? Depends on what percentage you got them at, what interest rates you got them at. If you look at like a 10-year right now in treasury bonds, you know, they a couple months ago, really, 10-year was at like 5%, right? And again, this is something that you don't understand. This is what I always tell people, guys. I always tell people this: if you're sitting on cash long term and you don't want to take the volatility and the risks of investing in the S&P or the NASDAQ, you could buy bonds and have free money over the years. It'll help against inflation. It's not going to be perfect, right? But again, I've done this math a lot before. Say you buy $200,000 of bonds, and say you catch them at 4%. I don't think it's a good time to buy bonds now. I think they're down to 3.7, 3.8%. The market's ripping up too much, and they're competitive and inversely correlated with markets, right? So as the stock market rises, bond yields are going to go down because less people are paying for them, and so, you know, that's the nuance of it, I guess, is the easiest way to put it. But anyways, say you buy $200,000 of the 10-year note. We're going to call it 4%, right? We're just going to call it 4%, right? So you're going to be making $8,000 a year based off of this $200,000 bond every year, right? So again, say you got 200K, and we're not even going to do compounding as an example. Say you buy $200,000 worth of 10-year bills at 4%, right? So 10-year treasury bonds at 4%, which means they're going to pay you 4% every year. So if you take 4%, it's going to be $8,000 a year, right? So you're going to make $8K a year every year for 10 years. You do that times 10, obviously you're going to make $80,000. You're going to make $80,000 over a 10-year period, not even including compounding. And then at the end of that 10-year period, you're going to get your 200K back, right? And so again, over that period of time, you're basically going to make 80%. You're going to make 80%. At the end of that 10-year period, you're going to make 80%. You're going to make 40%. But it's still a pretty good, thing. And that's better than just letting your money sit, obviously. That's better than letting your money just sit there if you're not going to, Why did Bitcoin get knocked down? And so again, there's a lot of ways to hedge against inflation long term. Bonds are guaranteed by the US government as well, which is why they're competitive with stocks, because the yield is going to be lower. Again, right now in a 10-year, you're guaranteed. You move the decimal one place over, you're guaranteed about 3.78% right now. About 3.8% is what you're guaranteed, right? So you buy 100,000, you're going to make $3,800 a year every year for 10 years, and then at the end, you're going to get your 100K back. And so, So again, you're going to make about 40% right now on bonds over a 10-year period, which again, it's not what the S&P will give you. The S&P will give you like 10% plus on average over a 10-year period. And so basically over a 10-year period in the S&P, you should double your money, right? Versus 40% in bonds roughly right now. And so, and again, neither of these includes compounding. With compounding added to, especially like the S&P, if you compound that, again, it can get kind of crazy, because again, if we calculate this here, say you got 100K and you put it in the S&P 500, and let's just say the S&P gives you 10% a year, and then you also include compounding, right? Average 10% a year over a 10-year period. So you do 100 times 1.1. That's what you would have after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. And so over a 10-year period, you're going to have about 260K from 100K in the S&P 500, right? And I think that's where a lot of people don't understand the edge there that you get. A lot of people say, hey, well, when you take inflation into account, it's flat. But that's the point. The point of that is you're keeping up with inflation. That's the point. And so anyways, hope it makes sense. That's the biggest. Again, I go over this a lot. Maybe I'm a broken record here, but I go over it because it's important for people to understand. Like, these are things that nobody ever taught me when I was young. And so I think it's important for people to understand, like, how you preserve money long term, Can I do that, Justin? Man, I don't know how to use these calculators. Let's see. Let me try it. Are you right? Are you telling? If that's true, it's gonna be easy going from now. All right, so 100 times 1.1. Oh, that's nice. Okay, got you. Okay, that's way faster. Thank you, sir. I should have done that. But not really, John. I would look to see what kind of bonds your country has, if you're not in the U.S. Yeah, Tesla down a little bit, influencing the market. The Q's up really strong. Gold is making a little bit of a bounce back up. We're starting to see flat action in a lot of different things. So we still got about 30 minutes here, team, 30 minutes. Apple very strong today as well. Apple around 194s. What's the lifetime high on Apple right now? The lifetime high is 199.60 for Apple. So we still kind of in that realm of lifetime highs for Apple. I think so, Mike. I think it's available, brother. Yeah, I know there's formulas for it, but how to put those formulas. And I know the formulas to a certain extent, but how to put them in a calculator is different. I could use a loop if I was programming it. Or there's a lot of ways to do that, to be honest. There's a bunch of objects that I can use to calculate that. But, you know. But anyways. Red day or green day? I'm green so far today. We're slightly green. Again, hit that like button, guys. Have we broken over 100 likes yet? We have not. We need 13 little baby likes, guys. We got almost 400 people here. Do it now. All right, team. All right, so we got a little triangle. I was gonna say triangle, but it's kind of flat right now. I'm seeing choppiness in a lot of stuff. It might be leading up to this economic report that we're just kind of neutral or sideways. Hey, what's up, Don? Hey, thanks so much, brother. I appreciate it, man. Have you tried trading Forex? I hear it's easier than stocks and crypto. I disagree. I have tried Forex before. It's similar to futures. The problem is liquidity. Very difficult to find consolidated volume in Forex. I think Forex has a lot of red tape around it. You know, for a lot of places, you need like VPNs and stuff. I think most traders in Forex probably would have a better time trading futures. I think you have more liquidity in futures. There's no PDT rule in futures. You're allowed to trade them and they're regulated here. And I think you can trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, you know, currencies to a certain extent. Gold patterns are very similar to some of the other patterns. Better liquidity all around. And in the futures market, Top Step's the most legit funded program, but they're a sponsor of mine. Of course, I'm biased, but yeah, if you want to check them out, here's the link. Big pullback already. Yeah, I'm looking to see if we have another green week so far this week. That's what I'm looking at today, really, is like, is the market going to have another green week? Yesterday, technically, we were green. And so, again, 2 green days in a row this week. If we close green today and tomorrow, that will be our 9th green week in a row. Our 9th green week in a row. So, again, if you look at the crazy thing here, here's the SPY. We can look at the SPY or we can look at the Q. Right, here's the weekly chart. All right, so, again, you can kind of see, currently, we are on our 8th green week in a row. 8th, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so actually, we've already had 8 green weeks in a row. If we, that's right. If we end green this week as well, the week that we're currently in, that will be our 9th green week in a row in markets. Our 9th green week in a row. That's kind of crazy, guys. It's kind of crazy. We'll see if we hit it or not. But Santa rally, man. Again, a lot of people doubted it. It's kind of funny because, again, I had so many bears. I had so many bears trying to like mock me and laugh at me for being dumb or not knowing what I was talking about or calling me greedy or whatever it is. And it feels good to just be proven right over time. Like something like time will show that I have been right over the last year, and it just feels really good because this was one of those predictions in which I kind of argued a lot about it with people. People thought that we would crash months ago, years ago, and in turn we've just had crazy big run-ups. We're still not really close to these SPY lifetime highs. You know, the lifetime high on the SPY is still 479.90s, and again, we haven't really hit that. We still got a long way to go before we hit that. So 479.90s is the lifetime high. The yearly high for the SPY bars is 476.66, which we actually hit this morning. So 476.66 is actually the yearly high on the SPY, which we hit this morning. But again, the lifetime high is about right under 480. Right under 480. If you look at that, it's right here. So here's a weekly chart. Here's the lifetime high on the SPY, right under 480s. Doesn't Forex have 6.6 trill traded daily? How is liquidity a problem? Okay, I'm not saying liquidity is a problem overall in Forex. What I'm saying is that it's more difficult for me personally to find consolidated volume in Forex. I think that personally myself, and again, I'm not saying it's a subjective thing, right? It's like saying I like chocolate cake. Somebody else can come along and be like, nah, chocolate cake sucks. You know, I love chocolate cake personally, but it's a subjective, it's opinion based, right? So again, some people might like Forex more. I personally like futures more. The reason I like futures more is because you get consolidated volume around the opening bell. I was a stock trader first, right? So I came from stocks to futures. And so I'm used to getting good volatility and action and trading the opening bell. I can trade the opening bell in futures, and there's virtually no difference than trading the SPY at the opening bell or trading the S&P E-mini at the opening bell. It's the same price action, it's the same movement, it's the same volume for the most part. In Forex, I know you can kind of do the same thing, but again, I just like trading futures more. Yeah, who knows? I don't know when we correct it either. I don't know. I see. Thank you. All good, John. All good, brother. Again, if you want to try out futures, of course, I'm biased. Top Step's my sponsor. Check them out if you want. They're a sponsor of mine. Pretty useful. Funded account program, so they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you pass it, they fund you. If you don't pass it, you're probably going to lose less than putting the money up yourself. And again, if you want to break down on kind of my risk management system in futures, again, I think it's a truly powerful one. You can see that link here. Okay, yeah, we hear you, OG. You know, we hear you, bro. Market will take any news is good news today. Watch. We'll see, Nima. I mean, I hope you're right. I hope the market keeps ripping up. But we'll see. This year was pretty crazy, man. We've had a huge rip. Historically, January and February, good months for the market. I see, but it seems we're a little extended. Yeah, for sure. The question is, how are rate cuts going to affect everything? Big question here. How are rate cuts going to affect things? And I really don't know. We'll see. All right, here we go. We're getting closer and closer, guys. We got 20 minutes before jobless claims unemployment filings. Tesla rejecting at 264. All right. Here we go. Well, everything's kind of falling down right now currently. So... all right, team, we get the SPY up. Let's see if it holds. Again, everything's kind of green today so far. Again, if today and tomorrow are green, that will be our 9th green week in a row, which really is kind of crazy. Tesla, pretty big green. I mean, a lot of stuff gapped up really early in pre and is now kind of starting to correct down a little bit. My view on the news is that it could be either way. Like, we could have a good reaction to higher claims or a bad reaction to higher claims. I think this one's really nuanced and difficult to predict. Yeah, I'm laughing at some of the Twitter's hilarious sometimes. The mortgage rate has to fall. Oh wait, sorry. Unusual whale saying, quote, the mortgage rate has to fall to 5.5 and the median price has to drop 22%. Median income has to increase 28%. Alright, so market dipped a little bit now. SPY under the 200 EMA, under the volume weighted average price. Nvidia just cracked above VWAP here, so there's Tesla in the middle. There's Nvidia. Man, Nvidia gapping up close to that $500 level, which is always kind of a big milestone spot. We'll see if $500 holds. Real quick, what do y'all think jobless claims are going to show up as? They're expected at 210K is what they're expected at. Will they hit that or not? Let me know. What do you think they're going to come in at? I'm going to go with 212. I'm going to go with 212. You know, I bragged about not having a stuffy throat this morning. I still got it. Ugh. All right, so again, SPY dipping down some here. We got 12 minutes, guys. 12 minutes. Hey, what's up, Hollow? Hey, thanks so much, bro. Revise will be 260? No freaking way. 195, 224. I want to see volatility. Hey, 216, 210. Again, I said 212 is my guess. Oh, Nima. Honestly, I've been exactly right about the last CPI report. I was exactly right. I was right about the FOMC meeting, too, and like what would happen. I told people I thought there would be a pause and then dovish talks, and that's what happened. Market ripped up. Last CPI report, I bet it and got it exactly right, I think, right? Didn't I? Was it the CPI report? Which one was last week? Let me see. I know we had an economic report come out last week, and I guessed it exactly right. Let me see what it was. Chat, you guys remind me. I think it was GDP, actually. So I think it came in at 4.9%. I think I guessed 4.9% is what it was. Or it might have been PCE. Actually, it was PCE. I thought it would be at 0.1, and it came in at 0.1. So I've been getting a lot of them exactly right. Again, I would love to claim it comes from skill. Basically just super lucky. Complete guesses. There's no way to really predict these things. So I wouldn't bet money on anything I'm about to say. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but yeah. All right, guys, we got 11 minutes here, 11 minutes. We got about 500 people here live. Slap that like button, hit the subscribe button, team. We appreciate it. Money. Yeah, I mean, Ethan, if you heard the last thing I just said, which was that it was complete luck and a guess, I would love to claim it was skill, but it's not. That's why. All right, team. We got 500 plus people here now. I can say I've heard a lot of people losing their jobs, their jobs cutting jobs over the holiday. Probably won't be reflected for a few reports. Yep. Seems like every time you guess something like CPI right, someone gets mad. I mean, I'm definitely, Ethan, one of the top 3 most correct, brilliant and humble traders in the world right now, for sure. Definitely top 3. As I always say, humility flows through me like water. It's easy to be humble when you're this attractive, and when you're this correct about your stock and market insights. It's really hard to not be humble, when you're this good at everything. You know what I mean? SPY at 477s. We have very choppy. It's kind of hard to see because the liquidity is light, but that's basically what we got right now. If we zoom into the Q actually has a little bit more of like a downward trend, I would say. So here's the Q, although it's still pretty choppy too. Again, you can kind of see we're straddling that previous closing price and volume weighted. We have the, not the previous close, we're straddling, this is the 200 EMA and the VWAP. The only moving average I ever watch is the 200 EMA because it's a long-term indicator. The yellow line is the 200 EMA. That's why I watch it, is because it's a long-term indicator. So that mixed with like the VWAP can be powerful. But liquidity is low right now. I guess everybody's waiting for this report, as well as it's a short holiday week. All right, guys, we got 500 plus people here. Right, for sure, Chris. Definitely top 3 most humble ever in the world. Markets want to go higher. Yeah, I think the Santa rally is certainly in right now. Look at Nvidia too. I think Nvidia is going to have a big influence over everything as well. Like, look at it. So Nvidia up to 496.50s. Here's the Q at 412.90s. And so yeah, I think Best Buy could be in trouble. I think Best Buy. I think Best Buy is brick and mortar retail, and I think Best Buy is a little bit better, but it depends on how efficient mail order tech becomes, right? Like, again, I think the reason Best Buy is still around, and they have pivoted their business model to more like appliances, which makes sense. But, a lot of brick and mortar retail stores are failing right now, specifically because mail order has become so freaking efficient that people don't need to buy stuff online or go buy stuff in store anymore. They just don't need it anymore. You know what I mean? And so it's just gotten so freaking efficient. People just don't need to buy stuff on the store anymore. And so, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Again, we'll see. I think the benefit, though, is because specifically with tech, people want to... specifically with tech, people want to buy... man, I'm sorry. I was trying to take a Q position. I missed it, though. I didn't have time to get in, and I think it's up too much. The timer is already up. It's at the top left. But yeah, the convenience factor of going pick up tech store same day, I think makes sense. I think a lot of people don't want to pay for I think a lot of people don't want to wait to pick up headphones or to pick up a keyboard or to pick up a computer or a laptop. I think they'd rather go pick it up in store, as well as the factor that you can have it worked on and fixed up and all that stuff. I think the convenience factor still, makes a lot of sense for Best Buy to be okay, relative to like other stores like Bed Bath & Beyond is a good example. A lot of the stuff is small stuff that you can get for $50 or less that you can get it shipped to you within 24 hours. So. All right, guys, we got 600 plus people here. We still got 6 minutes left here, team. 6 minutes left. We'll probably have close to 1,000 people at least by the time this report drops. So. $250K on oil calls, hoping that. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I think the news catches people too. I think the news on both sides influences people so much. I think people have to understand this nuance of it, which is that the news, just like a lot of YouTubers, wants clicks, right? Like the news wants clicks. Like a lot of YouTubers, you'll see if you go back and you watch their video, and a lot of them are trying to dilute the videos that they posted, telling everybody the market would crash, and so they're posting all these other videos now. But if you go back and you look at a lot of their videos, a lot of them are just like, hey, the market's gonna crash. The market's gonna crash. Watch out, the market's gonna crash. And they were saying this in October and November, and again, of course, we've had one of the most historic run-ups we've ever had, and they just kind of act like they never said it and keep posting videos. You see it a lot with the news on both sides as well. If you watch the news, each individual side is the end of the world. They're the worst people ever, whatever they say. The market's going to crash. The world's in turmoil. I think that influences people a lot, and I think a lot of people end up missing out on market gains because they're so worried that the world is in such a crazy place, and again, the world's not really that crazy relative to the rest of history. If you look at history, the 1910s, the 1920s, certainly the 1930s were crazy, the 1940s were crazy, the 1950s were kind of mild, the 1960s in the Cold War was certainly crazy, the 70s was crazy, the 80s was crazy to a certain extent, and so I think the world's always been crazy. The difference is that 24-hour news coverage has gotten so efficient that people don't understand how much better they have it now relative to back then, Yeah, they do it for views. Some people follow what they say, end up losing money. Yeah, and again, people get really rigid with it too. Like, listen, if your guy's called a crash 5 times over the last 6 months, you might want to stop following him, I mean, I use the shock-faced lettering on my thing too, but I don't tell people the market's going to crash. I've actually been telling people the opposite. All right, guys, here we go. We got 3 minutes, team, 3 minutes. We got about 700 people here live right now. 3 minutes. NVIDIA ripping up ahead of this report. The Q bouncing directly off of that volume-weighted average price, previous closing price level. I would have bought it, but we're too close to the jobless claims report here. But again, you see the purple and yellow line on charts. When those two are parallel to each other, a lot of the time they can be really strong bounce levels. You also see the same thing here. And again, I'm not claiming it's always going to work, but yeah, here we go. We're also going to throw this thing in sub-only mode, guys. So if you haven't already, hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. There's sub-only mode. All right, 2.5 minutes, team. 2.5 minutes. This might be, yeah. All right, here we go, guys. You guys ready? Two minutes here, team. 2 minutes. Let's do this here, guys. Markets are pushing up. Let's see what happens. We can watch gold as well. Everybody announce yourself. We are in sub-only mode, team. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Justin. I'm saying now we have that news coverage. What I mean is, like, what I'm saying, Justin, is that when I say efficiency, what I mean is that we've gotten better at reporting news quickly. So basically, we're numb to the crazy stuff to a certain extent now, and so I don't know. All right, guys, here we go. We got a minute left. Nvidia just ripped up, breaking highs. We got 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Y'all be ready. Again, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see what happens here, team. Again, we get a lot of people tuning into this report because we cover it pretty quickly here. So let's see what happens. We are waiting. All right, 40 seconds, guys. 40 seconds. We also have pending home sales today as well. Pending home sales. 30 seconds here, team. 30 seconds. Yeah, we can put gold up. I'll put gold in the middle. There's gold. All right, here we go, guys. 20 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on the stream here, team. We appreciate it. All right, 10 seconds. Here we go. 210 is what's expected here. It's team 210. And there's the report. Jobless claims 218,000, much higher than expected jobless claims numbers. More people filing for unemployment, 218,000 versus 210,000 expected. Again, more people filing for unemployment, in turn less inflation fears, I think. More people filing for unemployment equaling less spending. And so far we've gotten a bounce from this report right at the opening bell. Again, we came in at 218,000 for this report. 218K is what we showed up as. Again, 210 is what was expected last time. We came in at 205. And so much higher than expected. I thought we would be higher than expected, but I didn't expect it to be this much. And so again, I thought we would be higher. I didn't expect it to be this much. There's the numbers on bottom of the screen. 218,000 versus 210 expected. Market has moved up a little bit from this report. I'm not saying it's going to continue moving up, but the market has bounced a little bit. You can see the SPY on the left side. You can see gold making a little pop from this report. The Q making a little pop from this report. It is a somewhat underwhelming reaction. We got about 900 people here live, team. So again, subscribe if you haven't yet. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Good trades balance came in at minus 90.27 billion, which means that we imported more than we exported by a little bit larger margin. The more negative means we imported more versus exporting, and a higher number means we exported more than we imported. Good trades balance again came in at 90.27 versus 88.4 expected. So again, we ended up exporting less than we imported here is what that means. But again, markets are moving up a little bit on this report here, team. So we have bounced some from this report. Again, retail inventory showed up at minus 0.8%. Minus 0.8% for core retail inventories for November. Last time it came in at minus 1.1%, so a little bit of an increase relative month to month for core retail inventories. Wholesale inventories came in at minus 0.2. They expected minus 0.2, so as expected. Pending home sales drop at 10 a.m., and we will cover that as well. Yeah, I mean, whether this is good or bad is nuanced. Again, I think it depends on what you want. This means less spending. More people filing this means less spending is what this means, right? That's why we've had a positive reaction to some of this stuff lately. So we have had a positive reaction to some of this stuff lately, but it doesn't mean that we're going to continue in this direction. Like, it doesn't mean we're going to continue in this direction. I've seen a big pullback in the Q right now. Look at the NASDAQ pullback, and then we got a quick little pop back up on the NASDAQ here. SPY dipping down too, a little bit of a delayed reaction from this as well. Let's see what happens. A little bit of a delayed reaction here. Let's see if jobless claims rips the NASDAQ up higher. We are trading this now on our funded account. We are up about 20, 25. We're going to go ahead and lock that profit in. I think this is our funded account. It should be. Let me make sure. Yes, this is our funded account. You can see Express at the top. This is my Express funded one. So you can see we're up there. But yeah. Not that bad. We've had 3 trades today or so. Made money on all of them. And again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep funded program in futures. They give you a demo, test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. If you can't pass the test, again, you're probably going to lose less than you would putting the money up yourself. Day trading futures is very similar to day trading stocks. There's just no PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, which is basically the SPY and Q. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks. There's just no PDT rule. You can't trade individual stocks, but you can trade major index funds, gold, silver, some currencies if you like Forex. And again, there's no PDT rule. And TopStep gives you a demo, test your skill. Just taking it builds your skill. Taking the challenge builds your skill. If you fail, you're only out $50 for the base one. If you're good enough to pass it, they fund you with a 90% split. So if you make 10K once funded, you get to keep 9 of that. They let you keep your first 10K in profit. Free funding coaches, tons of great resources. Again, great company if you want to check them out. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, of course, in their favor because they pay me money, but check them out right here if you want. Again, still kind of sitting back waiting here, guys. We did trade this a little bit. We're taking it pretty slow and steady on the day. Again, currently in our funded account, we are up about $100. About $100 on the day. You can see the SPY starting to turn. It's now under the 200 EMA, under the volume weighted average price. All right, guys, gold. Gold actually moving up a little bit more relative to everything else. There's the Q. The NASDAQ looks a little bit stronger than the SPY, so maybe tech is holding a little bit better. Again, advanced good trades balance was minus 90 here. And again, y'all stick around. We are going to be day trading live. Friday tax harvesting, maybe. AI will be huge this coming year. I think so, too. Guess we're gonna have a huge market crash soon. Maybe. I mean, if you've been watching a bunch of YouTuber influencers telling you the market's gonna crash, maybe you might think that, but all right, guys. Hey, what do you guys think the market's going to do today, guys? What do you guys think the market's going to do? Nice, so we build up a cushion. Again, the market's actually kind of flat from this report, man, which is surprising. Hey, all good, JS. Hey, thanks, JS. Thanks, brother. Yeah, again, I think so as well. See, I don't think the market's going to crash, specifically because we're in an election year, and a lot of the time the market's very quiet and safe in those years, you know. Again, next year we're going to start to, or next week we're going to heat back up. We're super busy next week. This week's slow, and that's all right. We're getting ready to start day trading some more here. I'm going to try to find something to day trade if we can. And again, if you want a video breaking down like my full risk management system on Top Step, like I've had a lot of people talk to me about it, and so I made like a video detailing like the full, like basically what I tried to do in this video is detail my daily steps here, my daily steps to profit, like my daily steps to profit. I might buy this dip right here, guys. I might buy this dip. All right, so we're in one contract of the NASDAQ. We got about $100 cushion on the day already. So we got a $100 cushion. I'd like to build up a cushion of a couple $100 first. But again, if you want to watch like a full walkthrough breakdown of the system that I use to get funded on Top Step in 2 days, check out the link. Here it is. So there we go, we're green. We got a nice little cushion so far at least. And we'll give it time to bounce. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and lock that in here just so we can break $100 in profit here. So here's my funded account today. This is my actual funded account. Little baby scalps until we're able to get funded. I probably should have held that one a little bit longer, I think, but it's all good. New here. Thanks for the link. All good, Crip. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this guy out of here. This guy is so negative and so dramatic, man. He's probably like a fake account troll who made a fake account to try to troll or whatever. Maybe he's that serious. He sounds like he's bearish and he's mad about it, is what it sounds like. Sounds like he went short on the market and, you know, the market ended up ripping up. I don't know. Either way, he's just a little bit too toxic, too dramatic, too much drama, too critical. So good day to you, sir. Good day to you. I'm funded with Top Step in a couple different accounts. And again, they're a sponsor of mine, so of course I'm biased, like I always tell people, but... See, I should have held this. I thought I should have held it too, but it's all good. Yeah, just too toxic, unfortunately. I didn't even notice him yesterday. Pawn says he was like the same yesterday too. I didn't even notice him. If you look back at his post, it's just so negative. Years. I would say years. You know. Like, I started off as a stock trader, and again, like, people can say whatever they want. Like, I'm nicely green on the year in stocks. Again, my stock strategy is very simple. Like, we don't just day trade futures. We also trade stocks, of course. My strategy is super simple in stocks. I look for big, and I've seen a lot of people make videos. Here's the crazy part, right? Like, this is the frustrating thing. All right, for me personally as a YouTuber, this is what's frustrating. All right, is that I have this stock buying strategy that I've been talking about for years and years. And I'm not going to say it's like a proprietary, unique strategy because I don't think it's that unique. But what I see a lot is this, right? Like, I talk about this strategy, and this strategy entails my wife got me a new gold wedding ring for Christmas. Check it out. But no, what the strategy entails is me looking for big pullbacks in stocks, big emotional overreactions in stocks. Yeah, see the world. Please stop talking politics or you're going to get banned really quickly in here, bro. Anyways, so my strategy involves waiting for big emotional pullbacks in blue chip stocks. So I'm looking for blue chip stocks to pull back heavily, like 10% plus. Maybe they can do that over a couple months and look really weak. And if I can identify a company in which I think it's healthy, that's doing that, like a company that I think is going to be okay long term, that's pulled back dramatically, I'll buy it up and I'll sit on it. And if I pick the right companies in which they're going to be fine long term, regardless of short term volatility, like blue chip companies only. You can't do it with mid caps. You certainly can't do it with penny stocks. It has to be blue chip stocks only. But if I can do it with that and find stocks like Apple, Amazon, Google, Walmart, Target. I did this with Target. Everybody freaked out. They hate Target for whatever reason. I like Target. I think Target is a strong company. Every time I go there, I spend $400 or more. There's always a bunch of people there. So when it dropped big percentages over the last year, I bought it up and made money on it. And so I think using that type of strategy where you look for stocks that are pulling back heavily, that are overreacted, that's my strategy. I'll buy those stocks. You're right. And if I'm wrong short term, I'll hold it for years if I need to and probably make money. The beautiful thing about blue chip companies is most of them, if you sit on them, they're going to go up over time, right? Regardless of whether you're wrong short term, they'll go up over time. Most of the time. Not always, of course. And you have to be very selective with companies that you know are not going to fail anytime soon. So that's the most important part, is the selectivity you have to have with stocks, in which you can't buy stocks that are speculative in nature. You know what I mean? You can't buy Polestar or Lucid, you know what I mean? Or NKLA or even Rivian to a certain extent. You can't really do it on Rivian either. Because it's just too risky. Even if Rivian moves up, it's too new of a company. I need legacy companies that have been around for 20, 30 years at least. And so if I do that, it gives me a very high accuracy rate, and I'm able to buy dips and ride them back up. I did this a lot recently. Again, in my current portfolio, I'm up thousands in my current portfolio. And, I've been basically riding this up. And if you want to hear stocks that I'm holding right now that I got in very cheap, again, Apple. My average price on Apple actually was better. I think I took profit on it, but my average price right now is about $190. ARM, I got in at 63 for ARM, which is not really the same thing. I bought this one on IPO day. It's up to 75 basically. Amex, I bought it at 144. It's at 187. Citigroup, I bought it at 42. It's at 52. Chewy, I bought it at 1690s. It's at $25 roughly. Disney I'm about flat, maybe down a little bit on Disney actually right now, but I'm mostly taking profit on that one. Etsy, I bought it at 83. I'm down a little bit on Etsy right now as well. Ford, I bought it at 11s. It's at 12s. Gold, I'm in gold right now. I've been riding it up. GameStop, I'm green on GameStop as well. Google, I bought Google at 120s. It's at 140s. Home Depot, I bought it at 290s. It's at 350. Honeywell, I bought it at 186. It's at 210. Coca-Cola, I bought it at 52. It's at 58. MGM, I bought it at 39s. It's at 45. Microsoft, I bought it at 312s. It's at 380 almost. Netflix, I bought it at 380s. It's at almost 500. That's a great example of one. Nike, I bought it at 104s. It's at 107s. But I've already taken most of the profit. I think I actually had a better average before this. Pfizer, I think I'm down a little bit on my Pfizer trade. PayPal, I bought it at 51. It's at 63 or so right now. RTX, I bought it at 70s. It's at 84s. Snapchat, I bought it at 9s. It's at 17. And some of these aren't an example because I think some of these are speculative. Like Snapchat, certainly speculative. But the point remains. The SPY itself, I bought it at 420s. It's at 477 roughly right now. Tesla, I bought this one at 205s. It's at 263 or 264 right now. Tyson Foods, I bought it at 51. I'm up a little bit on it. It's at 53 or so. Walgreens, I bought it at 22s. It's at 26 and a half, almost 27. Walmart, I bought it at 151. It's at 157s right now. And then even Exxon, I bought it at 90s. It's at 101 plus. So those are some examples of the dip buys that I bought over the last couple months. I bought a lot of these in like August and September to give you kind of an understanding of what I'm doing here. And so yeah, like Netflix is a good example, even though I'm mostly scaled out of it, but I'm still up on the position. I bought this one on Netflix at, let me see when I bought this one. So Netflix, I purchased it in September. So yeah, so look, I bought Netflix here. September, let me see the date. It was September 26th. So I bought Netflix here at about $384. So I actually bought it right around here, right? And I had to hold it for a couple, you know, like really a month or so of dips. But again, when you zoom out, I bought it here and it ripped up huge on me. And so again, I'm looking for stocks that have pulled back. The reason I bought Netflix, it had dipped really, really heavily. And I think Netflix is obviously going to be a fine company long term. It's too influential pop culture wise. Like, it has too much interest. It has too many subs, hundreds of millions. And so it's going to be okay long term. They're producing their own movies now, and a lot of the movie industry as a whole is migrating towards streaming content like that. And so Netflix obviously going to be okay long term. And so when it drops for 2-3 months in a row, light bulbs go off in my head and I say, okay, I'm going to buy this up, just to give you an understanding. And again, I don't want you to copy me. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything, but that's the strategy. And if Netflix would have kept dipping, I probably would have kept sitting on it. The reason I bought Netflix is on a longer term perspective here. It was at almost $800. It was at $700+ back in November of 21, a few years ago, right? And it had huge drops. It dropped for years, all the way down to, you know, 180s. And so I thought that, and then so when it started dipping here, I figured it's probably a pretty good time to buy that dip, and it worked. No, trading's not my main source of income. Certainly not. You made money on PayPal? Oh yeah, dude, I'm definitely, you know. Man, look at the dip in markets right now, guys. Look at the dip. Speaking of dips, I don't know if I'm going to buy this dip, though. Caterpillar. No, I'm not holding Caterpillar. I'm holding Home Depot, which is kind of related to construction. That was my train of thought on Cisco. Well, I've already taken a lot of profit on Tesla. I'm still in it, though, but I'm taking a lot of profit. I think Tesla is just so influential over the car industry. Their sales are good. Now, I think people hate on them for political reasons because Elon is so loud on social media. And I don't know about the Twitter acquisition. I think that could have been a bad decision for him, but it depends on how much, like the question mark you have to have regarding the acquisition of that is how much is that benefiting Tesla sales? Right? Because it's a free marketing platform, you know? And so I think even if it loses value overall, I think the impact that it's going to have on Tesla sales might make it justifiable. But again, it's certainly arguable, for sure, considering how much he lost so far on that acquisition. I mean, I call it Tesla with a Z, but that's just I guess my southern accent. I don't know what kind of accent I have. A lot of people say I don't have an accent, but I'm from Louisiana originally, which is I'm from about an hour away from New Orleans, and so if I do have an accent, it's kind of like a Louisiana accent. Although I've been in Texas now for a decade, so I mean, maybe that accent's going away. I've also been streaming and talking for a living basically for years, and so I think that might be diluting my accent some, maybe. I say Tesla too. I'm from New York. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm from about an hour away from New Orleans, less than an hour actually. And so if you ever hear Louisiana accents, specifically from like New Orleans, it's a city accent. You know, people compare it to like Jersey. Like it's kind of like New Orleans. You know, like that's how people from New Orleans talk. And so it really is a very much a city accent. Although I'm not really from New Orleans specifically, but I think if I do have an accent, it's hard to explain. I think it kind of sounds like that sometimes, depending on how fast I'm speaking. So I know this doesn't follow your strat, but thoughts on SoFi? SoFi is too new of a company for me to feel comfortable investing in it like I'm just talking about long term. It's too volatile and speculative. Although it's had a great year, it's ripped up big percentages over the last year, up over 100% year to year. The weekly chart is something that kind of scares me, but it is looking a little bit better. So I think it's one of those trades in which if you are going to invest in it, you got to invest money you're okay with losing, and maybe it's high risk, high reward is the easiest way to put it. Yeah, for sure, Smokey. Well, we're mostly economic traders now. I'm mostly economic reports in broad markets, Smokey. Again, I still day trade, but I certainly don't cover penny stocks like that anymore because penny stocks mostly fail long term. And I think over time, my trading strategies have evolved to more long-term investing and just broad market, like podcast-like style is what I do now. You know what I mean? And it's helped us grow. Like, it's been a slow week, but we have grown dramatically. Like, if we look back at my channel as a good example of it, right? If we look back at my channel, again, it's been a slow week because there's not really any economic reports. But if you look back at previous weeks, you can kind of see, like, what we cover here on this channel from, like, mostly. Like, look, you can see we cover, like, Jerome Powell speeches. You know, we're getting 34K views. Tesla Cybertruck event, we're getting 40K plus views. Fed minutes report, we're getting 12K plus views. Nvidia earnings, we're getting 22,000 views. You know what I mean? So we're mostly pivoted to more like broad stock market, broad economic channel. We still day trade, of course, but like the channel theme has grown from just pure day trading to more of like broad trading, broad economics. Again, we mostly cover economic reports. So today we had jobless claims. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how we run things now. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people from out of town think it's pronounced New Orleans. That's usually how people from out of town pronounce it. But it's like, it's not, if you're from New Orleans, some small corners of New Orleans pronounce it New Orleans, but it's not something in which most people from New Orleans actually pronounce it that way. Most people from New Orleans pronounce it New Orleans, like that. And so it depends on where you're from, I guess. You know, Johnny B. Good's got a lot of people calling it New Orleans, and again, maybe some corners call it that, but if you call it that, people probably think you're from out of town. You know, it's kind of like pecans. You know. Like personally in the South, most people call them pecans, but up north they call them pecans. You know what I mean? Yeah, AMD is what sparked this latest bull run in markets. You know, again, the NASDAQ, you kind of see it here. We're very choppy. When you zoom out, like, here's the last few days. We're very choppy in markets. AMD earnings are really what sparked this latest bull run. If you look at AMD, right, the market was actually pulling back really heavy until AMD hit their earnings report. And AMD did their earnings somewhere around here. I'll have to go back and check the exact date, but it was somewhere around there that AMD actually reported their earnings. And this boosted all of tech. So you can see after they reported, all of tech and the market in general started rising, giving us this big weekly green streak that we're in now. But a lot of it was specifically sparked from AMD earnings coming out and ripping markets up. So so NASDAQ's still pulling back a little bit. We'll see if it holds. Again, if today ends green and tomorrow ends green, that'll be... we got higher jobless claims than expected. But I think the markets are dipping right now because we're sideways and the market's up a lot. But I don't know. Again, the nuance of it is a little bit arguable. Nvidia up there. Let's see where Tesla's at. Yeah, it's just New Orleans is what most people from South say it. New Orleans. It's kind of like, I'm from Baton Rouge originally, like 45 minutes away from New Orleans. Originally it's Red Stick, it's pronounced Baton Rouge. But most people just say Baton Rouge that are actually from there, you know. Go Tigers, you know. But yeah, so again, NVIDIA pull it back to the VWAP level. Tesla under the VWAP level. Q under the 200 EMA and the VWAP level. We'll see if we bounce here on the NASDAQ. This is an interesting spot. We're right around this major support level here. So like, look at this. This is a major support level. We've had like 1, 2, 3, 4 bottoms here. Maybe more. And so look at the small little bounce you get there. Let's see if it continues down. We break underneath that, I might short it, in all honesty. Baton Rouge is rough. It's my hometown. It's where I grew up. And I think when you're there, I think it's gotten worse over the last like 15 years. Since I left. But it's my hometown, you know. Bittersweet going back there, you know what I mean? All right, so we are getting a little pop here. Again, if we continue down underneath this, I might short it. I'm gonna short it, I guess. We're gonna try. We got a cushion on the day, so even if we lose here, we should be all right. But I'm definitely getting this bounce that I don't necessarily like right now. 20. We'll see if this previous level turns into resistance is ideal. They were flat. We got a nice upwick, which can sometimes be indicative of selling pressure. Now we're flat, down a little bit. See if we can go green and we break down under this line and go positive on the trade. NVIDIA breaking down under the VWAP, which might drag everything else back down too. I hope so. There we go, slightly green. Up $10, $20. Let's see if we keep flushing down. 25, there we go, 50. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cut that. So now we're building up a nice little profit on my funded account today. Again, we are up about 140 or so, about 140. So not a bad little short. Again, you can kind of see the thesis that I created as I took this trade, guys. I hope that this all makes sense. Small little gains. I'm still in the cushion building phase of my day. But again, I hope all this makes sense where like, look, like I'm identifying a major support level that's been confirmed multiple times in this level here. So I'm building that major support level. I'm looking for big weakness and then a test of this. And when we consolidate here and then finally break, I think it's very plausible to assume that we're going to break underneath it. You know, there's a couple reasons that I thought we might break underneath it. The first one is because we started to break underneath it. But the second one is simple. It's that, you know, eventually you're chipping away at a support level, right? So this specific support level, you know, if you look at like the logic of the trade, this specific support level, we hit it multiple times here and then here again and then here again. And then here again, and then came all the way back up, which was strong, and then consolidated, and then came all the way back down. You know, I talked about this on Top Step yesterday, but a lot of the time my trades are piggybacks off of larger moves. Okay, so like when we get all this weakness where we were up around the highs, and we came all the way back down to test a level that had been confirmed over and over and over again, and then we finally broke underneath that level that we had tested 5 times or 4 times, I think it's very logical to assume that other traders see this type of weakness as well, and other traders are going to piggyback off of the same type of move. They're going to say, hey, this major level that's been confirmed 4 times just broke. Let's attack the weakness that comes from that, right? And so that's the kind of logic of the trade. Again, we're kind of piggybacking off of this big weakness, and then we're shorting into the small bounce that we get from it. and then saying, hey, we're probably going to keep going down, right? So that's how I'm able to get this. And again, we called this trade before it even happened. We obviously made money on it, but I hope you guys understand that logic. A lot of the time, you're just trying to read sentiment, and so, you know, that's the reason we took the trade. I think that's the reason the trade worked, and so you can kind of understand how you can start reading this type of thing yourself, I think. I haven't noticed any difference on TOS. Virtually no difference. All right, Q starting to turn here a little bit. We're still green on mostly everything, but starting to turn a little bit here. No, TOS is pretty much the same. It's been the same for years. All right, so we're getting a little pop back up here. Part of me wants to piggyback off of this short too. I'm gonna go ahead and try that. See if we retest that low really quick and then cut it if we can't. Flat. We got a little breakdown. Nice. Gonna lock that in. A little quick little scalp. Didn't quite retest the low, but we're just kind of scalping back and forth now. We haven't had any losses on our funded account today, and this has been everything I've traded on. I haven't really day traded on anything. This is my funded account, and so not too shabby here. Again, kind of slowly building up profit cushion that I can swing a little bit bigger at the opening bell is the goal. Probably could have held that one a little bit longer maybe, but it's all good. Not an AMD long term. I've got a couple other AI stocks, but again, not really. See, I could have let it test that low again, but again, it's all good. I'm using a 1 minute time frame right now. I'm mostly a scalper on a 1 minute. I'm attacking trends, right? So I talked about this on Top Step yesterday. But my first part of the day, I'm building up this little cushion of $100 to $200, right? So again, we still got 20 something minutes until the opening bell. My first part of the day, I'm building up this cushion like clockwork. Every day I do the same thing. I try to build up this cushion. Once I'm able to build up the cushion, I take larger risks, mostly based off of momentum at the opening bell. But for the earlier part of the day, a lot of the time I'm taking like trend scalps, right? So again, you can kind of see this trend here, right? Like you could all probably see this trend. I'm just kind of scalping this trend. Is what I've been doing, right, to build up this profit cushion. Just kind of scalping this trend, taking short-term trend trades. Once we get a little bit more closer to the opening bell, when the liquidity goes up, once liquidity gets a little bit better closer to the opening bell, then I'm more likely to take like momentum scalps and stuff like that. And again, I break all of this down in detail in the video, again, in the video that I posted yesterday. And so again, I break all of this down in the video. And there's the video link right there if you want to check it out. But yeah, we break it all down. gold currently 2083s, 2084. All right, still testing that low. You can kind of see Tesla start to rebound a little bit back up. That might be dragging the broad markets and the S&P back up. All right, now we're starting to rise back up again. This is mostly from Tesla. You can kind of see Tesla start to rip. So a lot of this is from Tesla. You were saying the other day that people exiting losses position or losing positions before 24 for tax write-offs. Do you think that happens enough to sway the market? Sometimes, sometimes. The problem this year, if you want me to be honest, with tax harvesting specifically, is that, and my guess is this year, and again, I'm just out thinking about this part of it, but like my guess this year is that not a lot of people are losing. Not a lot of people are in a bunch of losing positions this year. The market's up crazy big percentages. And so I think less people are down this year. And so you might have less tax harvesting because of how much the market is up. Again, if you look at, let's just call the S&P, right? I think the Q is going to be up more than the S&P, but the S&P is going to pretty much like a big, obviously a pretty big index fund that people watch, but again, so you can see we were at right at the beginning of the year, we were at, let's call it 384s. So the market has gone from 384s to 477 roughly. Right, so the S&P 500 or the SPY this year is up 24% this year. 24%, very large percentage, of course. And so with that, a lot of, again, the S&P 500 is made up of the 500 largest companies in the world, right? And a lot of those companies obviously are up this year, relative to previous years. And so I think there might be less tax harvesting in that regard. Now, you're always going to have losses from other things. You might have short positions covering is what Pawn's saying, and I guess that's true. But when shorts cover, what do? They buy it back, right? And so you might have buys coming in kind of the opposite maybe of previous tax harvesting years. And maybe that's another way, one of the reasons the markets are moving up is because shorts are now covering their shorts because of how much the market is up. And so in turn, when you cover a short position, you have to buy it back, thus causing a short squeeze. Maybe we're getting kind of a short squeeze tax harvesting scenario right now. Again, I don't know. But All right, NASDAQ bouncing back to that previous level. Part of me wants to short because, again, this is a big resistance level here. I don't know, though. I think we still got 15 minutes or so until the opening bell. Yeah, here's the problem, though. I see a lot of people talking about compound interest. And compound interest, you know, some of them said it was like the eighth wonder of the world. The problem, though, is like what people don't tell you about compound interest, right? Like, and this is a part of it you have to understand. Like, I see some guy posting on social media, he said the power of compound interest. Let's say you invest $500 a month for 10 years, starting at 25 and stopping at 35. Total amount invested will be about $60K over a 10-year period with an 8% average return. By 60, you'll have $642,000, $643 roughly $1,000. And while that's great, you know, going from 60K to 643,000 is great, but that's in 40 years. You know what I mean? 35 to 40 years. You know what I mean? Like, do you know how much the value of money is going to change over that period of time? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that you have to understand. Like, okay, imagine 40 years ago how much a house price is. Like, look, average price of a house in 1980. The average price of a house in 1980 was $61,000. Right? Now imagine, when you correlate that to the average price of a house in 2023, it's $351,000. So you're going to make a little bit by investing. But I guess the point is that much money is not going to be as profound as you think it is. You know, it's just not going to be as profound as you think it is. And so, yeah, again, you're going to make a little bit if you get 8% every year, which you should. But it's not going to be as big as you think it is. All right, so we're back up to this level here. Again, part of me wants to short. I'm going to try it. I'm going to go ahead and short this. We built up a cushion. I'm going to use my max losses like 50 or 60 bucks though, so we have at least some cushion heading into the open no matter what. So we're going to keep it very tight, I guess is the point. Popped up a little bit. Again, this is such a big resistance level though is what I'm looking at. The problem, I'm looking at Tesla at 264s. Yeah. I'm going to cut that there too. So we're out. We're still up 100 plus on the day in our funded account. So we got that cushion still. Yeah, we're still up 120 bucks roughly. Was hoping we might reject here, but regardless, we're okay. All right, guys. Hey, we got 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Maybe we should have shorted and held that position. It looks like it might have worked, so we might have gotten faked out of a winning position too. But again, we're still running a 6-to-1 win-loss ratio today. Still slightly green in our equities portfolio as well. But it looks like it would have worked. No, nobody's investing 60K a year. Stay tuned. So over a 10-year period, if you invested 60K total. Sound like there's a lot of biases in chat? There's a lot of biases everywhere, brother. That's life. Everybody's got opinions, you know. Yeah, honestly, this short would have worked, guys. Top 3 dumbest exits in the world right now, for sure. It would have worked. I should have stayed in that freaking thing too, man. All good. What's up, Chef? Big gap up in Tesla. Yeah, Tesla over VWAP too, man. Look how wild. Look how nice that would have worked too, man. It hurts. It hurts. Yeah, it's all good. I'm just kind of trolling myself a little bit, but if you want to check out Top Step, try to get funded just like me. Again, it's great because like a lot of day traders lose money in of course, like a lot of day traders lose. When I first started, lost thousands, like I always tell people. But that's okay because you got to pay your market tuition. You have to respect how quickly losses can turn on you. Right now, again, you can put up thousands yourself trying to look cool or because you're stubborn and think you're going to get rich or something, or you could try a funded account program in day trading. There's no PDT in futures. You can day trade short. I can day trade the S&P and what's called the E-mini. I can day trade the NASDAQ E-mini as well. So the QQQ price action, same price action as the Q. But there's no PDT rule. And again, it's a great test of skill in the beginning. So instead of putting up thousands, risking thousands, and probably losing it like most traders, the base combine on Top Step's $49. If you lose, you're out $49. It's not the end of the world. If you're good enough to pass it, you can get up to 150K in funding if you take the larger ones. But if you do the $49 one, you get 50K in funding with a 90% split. They have free funding coaches. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year, fund thousands a year. Been around for over a decade. Really cool company. They are a sponsor, of course, but if you want to check it out, you know, great way to help support your boy here on this channel and test yourself too. There's the link. Yeah, I'll take longer term trades too, sometimes as well, but it depends. There's also no PDT with options. Yeah, but buying power implications are much more strict, and so you're not going to be able to buy freely day trading options like you would be in stocks. Or like you would be in futures, I mean. And it's not as similar. Like day trading stocks is, day trading futures is very similar to day trading stocks. Day trading options is much more different. There's a lot more nuance and like, yeah, it's just a lot different. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not, K. Do your thing, brother. I'm not mad at that. It's subjective, you know. It's opinion-based, so all good, dude. Did Kathy Wood really sell all of our Bitcoin? According to Bloomberg, Kathy Wood... Let me see. I gotta look this up. Kathy Wood bought 92 million. Yeah, so Cathie Wood just sold all of its GBTC position according to Bloomberg. They might be getting ready to put those funds into their own Bitcoin ETF. It'd be a bad look for ARK ETF investors if they had shares in other competitors' ETF, is what people are saying. That makes sense, I guess. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. All right, guys, we got 6 minutes here, 6 minutes. Y'all be ready. She was talking to Elon on X Spaces about crypto. Hey, Chris, I think you're probably watching a scammer, brother. So Chris Newman. A lot of the time what scammers will do, brother, is they'll take old interviews with Cathie Wood and Elon, and they'll do it with like Bill Gates a lot. And they will splice a bunch of old interviews together and make it look real, and then they'll start streaming those old spliced together interviews, and they'll send it thousands of bot views to make it look legitimate. Sometimes they'll even send it like over 100K subscribers. Like they'll do all this weird stuff, and they'll send it all these bot views, and they will basically try to talk naive new investors and traders into thinking that they're legitimate, and they'll do some type of giveaway. Maybe they'll try to get you to click on a link that will fish for your data some way or another. I would change your passwords if that's something that you've watched or clicked on. I would change your passwords. Never send them crypto. They'll say, hey, if you send us a Bitcoin, we'll send you 2 back, or whatever it is, right? They're scamming. You'll never see that crypto again if you send it to them, brother. And so be careful, dude. Those are how the scams get you, brother. I've seen a lot of them over the years. I've seen a lot of them that are super, super realistic looking. And I've had friends of mine that have reached out to me and been like, hey, bro, you saw Jack Dorsey and Elon and Cathie Wood do their interview today, man. It's great. And they've sent me the link, and I'd be like, hey, bro, that's a scam. Like, that's a scam. They're super tricky, too. On Tesla delivery day, they were making fake Tesla profiles on YouTube and sending thousands of bot viewers to make it look legit. Like, there's a lot of really sketchy ways they do it. Yeah, I mean, you might be telling the truth. I hope you're telling the truth, Chris. I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying I hope it's a legitimate one. It might have been a legitimate one. I don't really follow that stuff too closely, but it might have been legit. You know what I mean, brother? So I hope it was. Can anybody verify if what he's saying actually happened? Forgive me for being incredibly skeptical. I've just seen so many really good scammers. You know what I mean? Yeah, all good, brother. All good. Let me check. You might be telling the truth, bro. I'm looking for it. Okay, yeah, you were talking about X Spaces. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so you actually are correct. This was a legitimate one. My bad for the rant then, brother. But it's good for people to understand this. Again, I know this because I stream a lot of Tesla events, a lot of market events, a lot of like big economic reports and stuff like that. And these scammers prey off of people, bro. Again, most of the time it looks something like, hey, click this link. Or most of the time the way they really get people is they put a code, a barcode for you to click on your phone. And they hack into your phone is what a lot of them do. Just be careful. Be careful clicking on any link if you know, it's the way you always check. Yeah, I'm not me, Smokey. I'm a different me. I'm a AI generated program. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm top 3 best AI programs in the world, though. All right, guys. Hey, opening bell is in about a minute. We got about 1 minute here, team. 1 minute. Let's do it. Let's see if we can make some money today. Hopefully we can. Next week, very busy week, guys, so I'm ready for it. My equity portfolio actually slightly red today. Yeah, that's right, David. You know. Safety briefing rant, that's right. Yeah, I assume everything is. Hey, guys, 10 seconds here, team. 10 seconds. All right, there's the opening bell. Right. Meow. There's the opening bell. All right, so NASDAQ mostly been sideways the last 5 minutes. We got Tesla moving down a little bit so far at the opening bell. We got the SPY moving up, though. It looks like the NASDAQ going up some here. Tesla retraced back up, testing the volume-weighted average price, and it's now breaking it. We got the Q starting to push back over the VWAP and the 200 EMA, holding over that support level, testing the previous highs up there on the NASDAQ. So I think we can watch the previous highs here. We've got some kind of little, maybe a triple top, you can call it. Nice upward movement, though, in markets at this point in time, so. I wish they were AI-based, bro. People say I say the same thing enough. Maybe I am an AI bot. I just don't realize it. You know those arguments where people are like, hey, what if you're really an NPC? You know, in real life, like, what if you're really an NPC? Simulation theory will weird you out if you think about it deeply enough. All right, big retracement back down. Big retracement back down in markets. Q struggling. Tech is falling, it looks like here, but who knows? We're still so close to the opening bell. I gotta just be careful. I'm looking at Apple. Apple ripping up big. Where's Nvidia at? Nvidia ripping up big too. Bullish action showing up. SPY just broke highs. Apple just ripped up almost up to 498s. Or almost up to 195s. Nvidia almost up to 498s. Turn. Choppy open though, guys. Y'all be careful. That support level's still there though. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, the simulation argument's freaking weird. Again, I told it to Carol, freak Carol out for months. And again, if you don't know the simulation argument, I'm gonna tell it to you now. It has really deep, like, religious implications, like all that stuff, right? The simulation theory goes like this: if it's probable that sometime in the future we'll eventually be able to create an artificial world, a simulation that is realistic enough to display what we currently see through our eyes, that it's actually way more statistically probable that we are already in that simulation, you know, and that we're not in base reality, you know. It's a weird freaking argument when you think about it, and it makes sense too. What's the scary part? All right, so again, we've got consolidation at the opening bell. We got consolidation. SPY breaking highs, but tech is kind of struggling a little bit now. Nvidia specifically has turned all the way back down. It was close to 498s, is now dipping down to 495s, getting ready to maybe start testing that previous low level here. Apple's still moving up, churning up though. So again, we're kind of split in the middle between some blue chip companies. I think I'll probably just sit back and wait. All right, so Nvidia actually testing that previous close, the red to green level on charts. Yeah, and I think with the creation of AI, it's even a weirder argument to think about. Like, there's an argument in there if you think about whether you're a real person or a simulation. You know, you could be a person in a video game right now. It gets really deep, and I know it sounds like crazy and ridiculous. And I'm not saying I agree with any of this stuff. I'm just saying there's some deep thoughts that you can have about it that really make you question reality. But yeah, they're fun. right, so we are breaking down here. Most of this was started by Nvidia, but other stocks are starting to follow it on the queue right now as well. Very red opening bell here. You can see it on the bottom right. Yeah, the Truman Show actually messed with me growing up. Like, the Truman Show truly did mess with me growing up. There was a period in my childhood where I really thought that I could be on a TV show. You know? Not that I thought I would be on a TV show. That's not really what it is. I never thought I was actually on it, but you questioned whether you could be, you know? And I think that movie was deep and really interesting. But yeah. Starting to test these lows again. 3 really big candles at the opening bell here, team. I'm holding off on my trading until a little bit deeper open so we get some better stuff. And I do got to bring attention to Chart Prime really quick. Chart Prime is a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, of course. I can't guarantee you're going to make money, but look at this, man. I should have been following them a little bit more closely. Because, again, look at today's price action. And, again, I can't fake what I'm trying to show you here. I really can't fake it. Like, look at this. Sell. People hate on Chart Prime. I don't understand why. Like, look at the Market Oracle Pro. Sell signal, nice little drop. Strong bounce signal, beautiful bounce. Sell signal showed up here, literally right there. Big dips. Buy signal, bounce. These are 1-minute charts too. Strong sell signal showed up here, big dips. And so again, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 today on a 1-minute chart over the last few hours. Again, buy signal here worked. Strong sell signal there worked a little bit. This one maybe you could say didn't work. That one worked a little bit as well. This one did. This one did too, I think. You put up a 5-minute chart, it could be even better, but genuinely useful. Like, look at this. Sell signal dip, strong signal bounce, sell signal dip, buy signal bounce, sell signal dip, buy signal bounce. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. I can't guarantee any of these actually work. They look like they worked. I'm pretty sure they don't repaint as well. But again, on the regular market oracle and the dynamics, you can see the break of these flags is something that I traded this morning. And so I traded the break of these flags, so you can see we're in the flag, and then we break it. I usually break the continuing direction down here, and again, the sell signal called that out too, and we got dropped. So again, really useful, very cheap, and you can use it on anything with the symbol on TradingView if you have premium TradingView. And so again, I'll post this link up. Great way to help support the channel. If you can get into a couple good trades, it can pay for itself. And again, you can also look at this here if you want to see the actual link for it right there, brothers. So check it out. Again, they are a sponsor. I'm biased, of course, because they pay me money, but check them out. I guess I'm going to short this here, team. It's risky. We got a cushion on today in our funded account. We're going to go for it here. Maybe add to it if we bounce up enough to fix the average. But ideally, I'd like to make a couple bucks from this and see if we can start flushing down. Here we go. I got out a little bit profitable, but I should have held it longer, I think. I'm going to add to this here, start taking some swings. Go. We're up over 100 on the day. All right, got out a little bit more, just made another 30. All right, so yeah, we're back up to where we're up over 150 on the day. Look, really good win-loss ratio today on Top Step too, though. Like, look. We've got a 9-to-1 win-loss ratio on, or 8-to-1, I'm sorry, 8-to-1 win-loss ratio on our scalps. Our drawdown's $40. We made about 150. So pretty good drawdown to actual profit stuff as well here. SPY looks strong today though, which is weird, which means it's mostly getting dragged down by tech. Like, stocks are mostly getting dragged down by tech, I think. We're green in equities as well, which is interesting. Could have stayed in it. I wonder what the follow-through is on my trades. I get out so soon. But you are on a TV show now? Yeah. Yeah. John, you were the best, brother. Thanks. Hey, all good, brother. Thanks for the support, man. Or the people around you are bots and someone is essentially playing Sims and you're the character but much more realistic. Right, 100%. That's the scary one too. you know. Or the even scarier one is, are you a bot? Are you a program? You know, that's the scariest one, I think, more than anything else. All right, so we got a little pop back up. Again, we're consolidating too much for me to take any direction here, I think. So we're just kind of sitting tight. Bot or not, as long as you are happy, you are good. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think this music helps the simulation argument that we're putting out there, too. I feel like I'm in Tron right now, you know? The new Tron, the Tron Legacy was good, man. You know, they should have made a sequel to that. I'm still bummed out about it. All right, bouncing back up, kind of flat. All right, so very flat consolidation right now. I'm just kind of waiting here. What happened? Bro, I am watching a German Shepherd. I can't tell if this is fake. Use a net to fish a ball out of a pond. This can't be freaking real, bro. I have a German Shepherd. Top 3 prettiest German Shepherds in the world. But, like, this can't be real. Honestly, they're super smart. The only reason I think it could be, here's Rosie, right? German Shepherds are incredibly intelligent, man. Like, again, we have a pool at our house. When Rosie first got here, when she was a little puppy, when my son would jump in the pool, she would run over to him and literally try to bite his hair to drag him out of the pool because she thought he was struggling. She thought it was dangerous for him. And so she would literally like gently bite his arm and try to drag him out of the pool. She would jump in the pool, gently bite his arm and try to like save him from the pool. And she did it over and over and over again until she realized that like, we know how to swim, we're okay, you know? But super intelligent dogs. But yeah, I'm watching a video where a dog used a literal net in a pond. I don't know if it's real or not though. It's hard to tell nowadays. What is the other news you're covering today? There's not really other news. No, your grandma sound is crazy, brother. No offense. All right, guys. Very choppy 10 minutes here since the open. Hey, what's up, Kratos? All right, we're testing lows again. Testing lows. Breaking lows now. I guess I'm going to short this and see if we can get some back breakdowns here. There we go. 30, 40, 50. I got out a little bit. I didn't quite get the big gain that I wanted, though. We're up 175, though. We got a 9-to-1 win-loss ratio today. I might short again into a pop if we get it. We'll see. We're short now. We might add to this with 2 contracts too, take a swing. And if we give back all the profit, that's okay. 2 contracts now. Short. We're up a little bit here. Big bounce back. Not really one that I wanted here, though, so we got to start being careful. Flat again, which is not bad. Big retracement candle. I think it just lagged trying to add to this here. That was weird. I wanted to add to it and fix my average, but it didn't fill me. Alright, we just took half of this off so that we protected our trade a little bit, but I wanted to add that 3 contract position. It didn't. We're up about 200 on the day. I might add back if we get it. I think it's going to maybe retest this low down here, but I'm kind of bummed I didn't have 3 contracts there instead of 2 because I was trying to add to it if you saw me. Maybe it's for the best, I guess, but I would have had a better average here on this flush, which is kind of frustrating. The only problem is Tesla just broke over the VWAP too, which is kind of risky. We're flat. Well, there's the breakdown we wanted, but again, could have had more. All right, so we just made another 60, so that's cool. We are now up. I mean, we got the trade. Again, I should have had more of a position, but that's all right. Again, we are now up about 250 or so in our funded account, about 240. So we got 11-to-1 win-loss ratio today, an 11-to-1 win-loss ratio. So again, we're going to keep trying to grind this up. Pigs are actually very intelligent dogs. Oh, we have pending home sales today. I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. I'm watching Tesla though. So the problem, like Tesla has a U-shaped breakout pattern. So buying or shorting the NASDAQ here seems risky because if Tesla holds at the VWAP and bounces back up to give us that cup and handle breakout, it might drag the NASDAQ back up here is my fear. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but again, it might drag the NASDAQ back up is my fear here. So that's why I'm waiting. This looks weak though, personally. Actually, Tesla just broke down under the VWAP. All right, so we just made another little 15 bucks. We are now up 260 on the day. Again, very accurate. We got a 12-to-1 win-loss ratio in our funded account. So now the question is, do I want to just take big risks, or do I want to just end the day up a nice 260 or so, or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Is the question. I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to short this, actually. We got a retracement. I'm going to take a little risk here. 260 bucks is not worth it for me. And Tesla just had a very weak move. All right, we got 2 contracts added. We'll add up to 3 here. Because I think Tesla just had a very weak looking move. I'm going to try to piggyback off of that. All right, we took half off there. And we just made another 70 here too. So now we're up about 350 on the day. Again, people can say whatever they want about me as a trader. All right. And again, this is my funded account. Like, look. Let me show. This is my funded account. So let me make sure. Look. You see the EXPR? This isn't my Express funded account here. So in my Express funded account today, we are up about 350 or so. 14-to-1 win-loss ratio using my strategies here. So again, people can say whatever they want, but like, we're accurate at the very least with these scalps. Let me see which one this is. We got a couple funded accounts. So I'm trying to make sure this is the right funded account. Okay, got it. Very good. We've also already had our 5 winning days in a row today, so we're probably going to be withdrawing pretty soon on it, I think. Again, I want you guys to understand the trading system. It's very simple. When I say I'm piggybacking off of bigger moves, and I'm also using blue chip stocks as my directional influence, right? What I mean by that is, like, look at the move on Tesla we just had. I watched the volume weighted average price a lot. And when you look at this move on Tesla, you can see we have a big breakdown, right? Tesla's a very heavily weighted stock in the S&P and the NASDAQ. And so when Tesla rejects off of the VWAP so profoundly there, I think that we could have some very short-term bearish action from Tesla influencing tech, influencing everything in broad markets, and the NASDAQ is tech heavy. And so that's one of the reasons I'm able to kind of like attack this weakness here and build up these profits in it. Because again, that's how I'm able to kind of get into these quick little high accuracy scalps. And again, if you look at my win-loss ratio, it's literally 14-to-1 today. 14-to-1. Let me get this circle out the way. It's literally 14-to-1 win-loss today. Profit factor of almost 10. And so again, we've only had 1 losing trade today out of a bunch. So not too shabby, guys. We'll take it. But again, I hope that makes sense. Like, we're kind of piggybacking off of bigger moves in markets. I'm gonna mute the music real quick so I can clip what I just said. All right, so we're still getting a slight downward trend. Equities is looking better. All right, so there we go. All right. Yeah, I shorted mostly. Again, I'm probably gonna hang this up for the day here. And again, if you want to compete in a funded program like me, again, check out the link in the description for Top Step. Again, it really is a good way to test your skill in day trading. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. Like, most day traders lose thousands of dollars when they first get started. This is a way to kind of get around that. If you still have some pressure to succeed, they give you a demo, test your skill. You still have some pressure, but not the full extent. So I really genuinely think it's useful, again, although it is a sponsor of mine. Housing data comes out in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes for housing data. The market is super flat right now, too. Oh no, it fell out in the car. Oh, it fell out in the car. Okay, gotcha. I'm in ARM right now. Is it really moving that high? Yeah, ARM. Hey, nice to see. Good. Gotta find the crypto. There it is. All right. All right, so pending home sales about to drop. I don't think they're going to have a big influence over markets, but it's relevant to watch, I guess. All right, so we are getting a bounce back up. We got 40 seconds until pending home sales data comes out. We'll see what this shows up as today. And let's see. Wait, where'd it go? Okay. All right, we're starting to rise. All right, so here goes the pending home sales. Pending home sales expected. They're not really a big report, but they're expected at 1%. At a 1% gain month to month. And they are out about 10 seconds. Alright, so here we go. There's pending home sales. They came in at 0% gain month to month. This might actually help interest rates though. So 0% gain. It's not going to really have a big influence, again, over markets right now. Getting a little bit of a bounce back up though, and again, we're probably just gonna sit on probably just gonna sit on our gains for the day. Again, on my funded account, we're up about 360 or so minus commissions, but we should still be up over 300 on that, including commissions, I think, right? Alright, you guys ready? So flat today. Alright guys, so yeah, we're probably going to go ahead and close it down. I just don't see much good stuff that's out right now. Much good stuff. It's super flat right now. Again, one of the reasons I've been able to profit some money is a company called Chart Prime. Again, here's a 1 minute chart. And again, I showed you this earlier. It's genuinely impressive, genuinely impressive. Like, look, buy signal, bounce, sell signal, dip, strong signal, bounce, sell signal, dip, buy signal, bounce, strong sell signal came in. And the last time I plugged them was like right here, and so we didn't know whether this strong signal would actually work, but look at the beautiful breakdown we've had since then over like a 30-minute period. So this strong signal right there worked beautifully, and again, you can use this on anything with a symbol. I can put up a 5-minute chart. It's probably going to be equally as impressive. Let's see. I've actually been playing around with a 3-minute chart lately as well. 3-minute chart. Home sales didn't really influence much in my opinion. So home sales haven't really influenced much. Market is not really bouncing like you might want it to. But yeah, let me look at the E-mini here too. I think every day, like, you could try this out. And again, they have scanners too. So if you want to see what's really working. So here's the E-mini. Sell signal worked. Buy signal, we got a little bounce. Strong sell signal, you might be able to say that one didn't work. But the E-mini bounced a little bit more as well. And again, look at the breaks of these flags. They seem to work. Let me look at a 1-minute chart on the E-mini. The E-mini's been a little bit more neutral today. But again, this is a company called Chart Prime. You can use it on anything with a symbol. And there's so much stuff that they offer. Like if you pull this up, they have back testers, screeners, oscillators, if you like RSI and stuff like that. It's $40 a month if you want to check it out. Again, I'll put the link up. You can find the link in the description as well, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close this down. Again, we're going to go over and pivot to our crypto show today. So we are going to be doing a crypto show. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, bring you over to the crypto show, it should. But if for whatever reason it doesn't, here's the link. Check it out. Data's pretty slow tomorrow, I believe, as well. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, if it doesn't for whatever reason bring you over, here's the crypto channel. It's called Beginner Crypto. There's the link right there if you wanted to go. And again, let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. I'll see you guys over there. All right, so yeah, we're starting this up now. Again, we're gonna go live real quick.